Okay, shout out to the Indiana Hoosiers. They won their first Big Ten championship game since 1945. I think currently there are like 15 people on this planet that remembers that game. Fernando Mendoza had a really solid performance. He won the MVP for this game. He had 222 passing yards, one touchdown, one interception, and he also had that game-sealing clutch play to Becker to give them the win. And Indiana just, man, what a great, gritty performance from this team. This defense is really good and just as good almost as this Ohio State defense. This was the second best team in the league in terms of defensive rating and defensive scoring and yards allowed and all that. This was a really good defense, and I feel like people are underrating this defense coming into this game. I know Ohio State's defense has more talent in terms of players and stuff. I mean, they have 4 or 5 first-round draft picks on the defensive side of the ball. But this Indiana defense is great, and the coaching job by Curt Cignetti and his coordinators, I mean, they just drew up a really good defensive game plan. I mean, they were throwing everything at them. They were throwing corner blitzes at them. They were going zone. They can go man. Their corners are aggressive. They were able to get pressure and make Sayin uncomfortable. They even got a turnover on them. They made Indiana struggle in short yard field positions. Indiana also had 2 huge red zone stops, one stopping Ohio State on 4th and goal, and the other stopping Ohio State on a 3rd and 1, which led to Ohio State having to kick a field goal, which they end up missing to tie the game. I mean, that was just a brutal feeling. I can't imagine how that feels to miss that game-tying kick. And after that, Indiana just sealed the deal, man. And, you know, if you look at just the online rankings for what the recruiting classes were for 2025 between Indiana and Ohio State, it was night and day in terms of the talent. I mean, Ohio State had like 49 4-stars to Indiana's 7, including like 4 or 5 5-star prospects. You would think on paper, just that talent disparity, these two teams would be on different like levels. But Curt Cignetti, his ability to find like underrated gems through the transfer portal, a guy like Mendoza, and bringing over some of his JMU guys from the couple years ago. I mean, his talent evaluation, what they've done through the transfer portal, has just been outstanding. I mean, even last year, too, with a guy like Curtis Work from Ohio, I mean, to find him and his success at Indiana was tremendous and very impressive. And to think Curt Cignetti wasn't even coaching in the FBS until a few years ago when JMU made they move up is absolutely bonkers to me. I mean, his story is just insane, from being an Alabama assistant to coaching D2 to going to Elon and then moving to JMU. I mean, what a crazy story from Curt Cignetti to go from that to now taking this Indiana team that has been historically one of the worst programs in FBS history. I mean, they have the second most losses in FBS history to, in his first 2 years, make them going to the playoffs twice, and now for the first time being number 1 in the country. And I'll be intrigued to see who they play. They'll obviously have a first-round bye. But, man, I'm excited. This was a fun conference championship game weekend. And I think these are one of the reasons why we love the sport today with all the chaos. I know there's a lot of reasons to have a doomer mentality with the transfer portal stuff being kind of chaotic sometimes, and conference realignment and SEC bias and Notre Dame bias can be annoying. But it's days like this, like I said. I mean, Texas Tech winning their first Big 12 championship in over 70 years. Duke just upsetting Virginia, now really just making things weird for Tuesday for deciding who makes the playoffs or not. And just Georgia getting their revenge against Alabama from earlier in the season. It was just a very fun weekend. And insert that Martin Scorsese meme, absolute cinema. I mean, this was a fun time and one of the best weeks in college football, in my opinion. I just had so much fun watching this game today. It was a really good defensive game, and watching defensive football is just so much fun. And I know I haven't really gave too much real analysis. I'm just really enjoying this weekend, and I just wanted to rant about this Indiana team because they just got good players overall. I mean, Fernando Mendoza was going to win the Heisman after this. I mean, he's been really good. I mean, this guy was a former 2-star recruit going to Cal and started 2 years there, I believe, now here. And I know statistically he hasn't been amazing this year, but Julian Sayin and Diego Pavia have similar stats. I mean, this wasn't like the greatest Heisman race like there was in previous years, but I think he was good enough. I mean, he made a lot of big-time throws in other games, like against Penn State and Oregon, and he obviously had some big-time throws today. And he's a very clutch quarterback. He's cool, calm, and he has a great job placing balls perfectly into the receiver's hands when they're being covered. And I really like him as a quarterback prospect. I think he could be potentially the number 1 overall pick. And this is an exciting time for college football. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Shout out to the Indiana Hoosiers. Like and subscribe for more football content. Peace.